let's get started. I want to talk about dialing and calling. Since Mark just jumped into the dialer, I wanted him to talk about that. And then, Jacob, I want you to talk about how to better talk to clients, because that's one thing that I think, at least, where we lose opportunities when we don't talk to people the right way. They just shy away. We don't connect with them, and we lose that opportunity. So, Mark, I want to start with you, and I want you to go through what you've been doing specifically today that has helped you call more people and connect deeper with people.
Yeah, for sure. So today was doing the Chime Dialer. So it's single speed, single one dialer for Chime, for our online leads, for our buyers. And I went through our like last visit, and some people may call that recent logins. Okay.
I'll go on mine so you can see. I don't have the dialer turned on for me, but if I were to go here for all our
Perfect. So I hit the last visit, which it looks like you already did. Oh, well, there you go. Okay, great. So then that right next to name, there's a little box, and there's like a little check box next to name above that. Yep. And then you'd send the dialer.
So I'd send them over to dialer, but it's not on for me, but yeah. So it says this selection contains other agents' leads.
I hit entire selection, and and then it'll actually go to the dialer, which obviously isn't showing on yours right now, but you just hit start.
Yep.
And then it just starts going through. It's really cool, actually. You can like write notes like live. You can set up an automatic text response, like in case, like, for example, like, hey, is that, sorry, I missed you. And then you can go into your script. All right, this is the craziest thing. I got to say this.
Tell me.
So in the dialer package, you can actually set up like your own scripts, and it's like a little window next to the phone. So it has like live scripts for you to use in case you get stumped, or you're calling a specific lead, or whatever it may be.
Is that like how RedX has that script? Like you can pop up the window with the script on it. Kind of similar?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Except I feel like this is actually a little bit easier to see.
Okay.
It's a bit more compact, and like I don't know. I think it's a little bit better. They're both good.
Let me go through this because I want you guys to share with me the approach. I'm not gonna click on any of them because then they'll give me all their information. So let's just say we're calling Izette Durson, and it pops up either on your dialer, or Jacob, for you're hand dialing for now until tomorrow.
It's half off right now too. We got it for like $8. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw Jacob on there, but and Jacob, I just turned on Mark today to test it out. It's great. So I'm gonna go to you, Mark, first. What's a conversation like if Izette pops up to you? Because you don't know at this point if it's an online lead, past clients, fear, open house. You don't know anything until it pops up onto your screen. So take me through the conversation.
Sure. So it's important to lay the land here. We're talking about, in this scenario, leads that have been on the website recently. And as you saw in the last screen share on Tristan's screen 3 minutes ago. So that's pretty recent. So how the conversation would go is that I would call, they would answer, say, hey, this is Mark with Keller Williams Realty. Just wanted to reach out. I noticed you were on my website today looking at some properties in Malibu, California, or wherever it is. It does show you where they're looking. In Malibu, California, wanted to reach out, wanted to see how your home search is going. And also, I might have a couple of properties that are off market that might fit what you're looking for.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. And then what's the typical response?
It really varies. I mean, it really, really does vary. I'll go over today's responses. How about that?
Yeah, that's even better. Go.
So today's responses were some that clicked and they hung up. Some responses were, hey, I'm really busy right now. I can't talk, but I would love to talk later. Some of them were, oh, that was a long time ago. And I said, oh, okay. So that was a long time ago. I got it. Well, how about any plans on possibly still looking, or sorry that I missed you. I don't know how I just got this notification now that you were looking. And they say, well, actually, this actually happened today. Actually, I am looking for something in La Cañada, Flint Ridge, up to 2 million, 2 bedrooms. If it's near the high school, I'm like, oh, okay, great. So if I found this house, you'd be interested in knowing more about it. Yeah, I would. Great. Awesome. So I sent her 4 homes.
So
15 minutes.
what's next though? Because a lot of the times you have these conversations, we have these conversations, and then nothing happens. They either go cold, we don't follow up, or just something happens. What's this process that you have next then?
So I'm a firm believer that in those scenarios, it's always our fault that it's because we don't follow up. Because even if the lead goes cold, you can still follow up. And eventually, I mean, I've seen it time and time again with myself and other agents on the team and other agents that I've coached where you follow up for months and months and months, and then all of a sudden they come out of the woodworks. So going off what you said, Tristan, I really think it's always on us to continuously follow up.
Do you put
How
any
the
of
conversation goes from there is on the Chime Dialer, there's actually a little button you can press. It's super convenient where you can actually set a reminder like right there in like a matter of seconds. So that's exactly what happens next is I write notes on the call, set the reminder today to send them homes. And then during my allocated time, which was about 45 minutes ago, was to go back from my calls and send properties.
Okay. And then do you put them on any smart plan too, like in Chime or what?
It
Follow
depends.
us?
It really does depend on how the conversation goes.
Okay.
If they're kind of like a cold nurture lead, then like, yeah, I'm gonna do like a little smart plan. But if they're like ready to go, I'm probably gonna take a more hands-on approach where I am doing like a reminder every day or every other day, following up with in nurturing them. So to answer your question, it really does depend on the lead and where they're at and how the conversation goes.
All right. How about you, Jacob? You're hand dialing until tomorrow. But look, you've used the dialer, Red X.
Yeah. No,
For this, you're hand dialing. What does the conversation look like? Because now there's a lot more intent behind yours because you're like, got it, online lead, pass client next, easy. So tell me about.
Generally, I take a very like standard approach to calling. I try not to push as much business. My general conversation will be like, ring, hey, hey, is this Tristan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Tristan, it's Jacob Stiegel with Keller Williams. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, I saw that you were browsing some homes on my site in, Malibu. Is this something you're looking to make a move on relatively soon or kind of just casually looking?
I'm just looking right now.
I love that.
It's just, every once in a while when I get some dead time, I'm looking at property. So yeah.
Right. No, I love that. What about the properties are you really looking for? Is it just an aesthetic or do you need a certain square footage or anything of that nature?
We want her to be closer to the water, but we also don't want to pay a lot, right? So we want to just proximity to the ocean where we can walk.
Yeah, you want a nice ocean view, but you don't want to pay the ocean price.
You got it.
You. Well, perfect. Well, listen, I'm always in the area. I'm always looking at stuff. Like I'd be more than happy to send you over a few properties that I think and know might, interest you. But if they don't, then just let me know. We'll start working on it. I'll send you over some places, no pressure whatsoever. And maybe we can grab a coffee or something over at Starbucks.
Send them over. But like I said, I'm probably like, we're so far away from doing anything, but yeah, send it over.
No stress. Yeah, that's no worries at all. When the time's right for you, I'm here. But that's generally how I talk to people. You know what I mean? Like very casual. I don't try to push, especially off of an initial interest or introduction, because I don't want people to be like fended off. I don't want to like push them away where they're just like, oh, this guy is solely business. I always like to try to say like, oh, I'll take you out for coffee or let's meet, what do you like to do? You want to go hit balls at the driving range, something. And just really have a nice conversation where somebody left and was like, wow, that person was really nice.
Okay. So not overbearing, easy.
No, yeah. Connecting for the relationship. I think the relationship is first, the business follows.
So the opposite of Mark. I'm joking. I was just joking. I was just seeing if Mark was paying attention.
No, you said my name?
No. Now he's got a question. I must have missed something. Are you demonstrating auto dialer? No, we were just talking about following up with online leads. One auto dialer, one just hand pick up the phone. How do the leads get into that dialer and dashboard? Do either of you want to talk about how they got there?
How they got to the dialer?
How they got to the dashboard? So you saw the dashboard that I showed with all the leads.
Yeah,
How do the leads get
you
there?
meet somebody like Tristan.
Yeah.
Ah!
You spend money to buy them via Google pay-per-click.
Well, look, that's one option. We also have past clients on there, Sphere, open house leads, online leads, whether they're Bing, Google, Facebook. It's a mix of everything. But the idea here is we're showcasing that you need a database to be able to follow up with someone, right? And a lot of us are still either not using a database, not having it organized, or worse, you have all that, but you're just not taking the time to follow up.
Right.
This is why I was excited with Mark testing out the dialer, because it just makes it so much easier for us to just talk. Right.
It really is too, because like you don't have to sit there and then hand dial the number, and then from there you have to hang up the phone and then go drive in the notes and then go to the. And also too, for those who are feeling like a little bit of anxiety, like a dialer, I don't want to be rushed to my call. There's actually an amazing thing called the pause button on this thing, where you can just pause it even after each individual call, and then you can.
That's cool. I would use that.
Go through. Yeah, I use it too from time to time. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, okay, getting crazy. I actually don't know how people do the 3 dialer thing. That my hat's off to you for those of you who do it.
I've done a 4 dialer once, and it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I don't know how people manage that for more than like 5 minutes.
I can't do it, guys. Honestly, I still love hand dialing for the most part, but I've used dialers all my life because of telemarketing. But I still feel like if I go slow at my own pace, I feel like I have deeper conversations in some cases with people. And I'm not, for some reason, for me, Mark, if I have the dialer on, my mindset shifts to be like, okay, go. Okay, go. That's why I love the pause button too, which is nice.
And it's so nice.
I think too, there's a time and a place for each of them. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's why like Mark and I always work kind of opposites, but well, is like, there's a time when, you know, you have your follow-up and, you know, you're just touching base with people. You just need to, hey, this is Jacob. How you doing? Hey, this is how you doing? Hey, how you doing? You buying anything? Nope. Cool. On to the next one. But then there's also the new leads coming in that like, you know, you need to nurture, you need to build that relationship. So there's a time to hand dial and there's a time to just turn and burn.
Yeah, that's it, guys. And so now tell me, you've got the database where you have the online leads, Google, Facebook, Bing, whatever we're doing, but you also add your past clients, right? Or you also add your sphere. I'm going to go to Jacob on this one. Jacob, you also add your friends, your sphere, people that are close to you. How do you treat those differently when it comes to following up with them using the CRM?
It depends. So for like, let's just say past clients that we've closed their transaction, you know, maybe last year, the year before, and you know, we just kind of want to stay in touch, stay friendly. For me, it's a little different because I hang out with a lot of my clients after the transactions for a while. Like I still hang out with a lot of my clients, say from last year, through like pickleball or golf, or we go out to dinner, stuff like that. So it's not necessarily as much like check-in of like, hey, how you doing? It's more, you know, like I'll text them every once in a while and just say like, you know, hey, Tristan, you know, how's everything going with the house?
Do you put all of your past clients and sphere into an automatic home search or no?
No.
Okay.
I probably should. I try to do everything personally. I keep them. So what I do is even through transactions and we're not getting on the do trend again. But I do keep them on like an auto drip as far as like it still sends them listings as they come up. It still sends them, you know, off like the hey, this one went into escrow and stuff like that. Because a lot of them like to know like, hey, you know, did my neighbor's house end up selling or whatever? So I always just keep them on, and they, you know, most of the time they look at the houses and they respond. And they love knowing what's going on in the neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I like that. And Alex, yeah, we do have HomeBot. We do add them. all of our clients going to HomeBot.
Yep.
And I think the other piece to this is now I want to go to Mark, because even though you guys are both, you do very well, you do it slightly different, right? Mark, for you, do you add your sphere into an automated home search or no?
No. Yes and no. If they're looking, yes. But no. If I have, when I first started, I uploaded my whole entire phone book into at that time it was sync.
It was commission sync, yeah.
Yeah, at that time. I remember that back in the day.
I remember.
And yeah, I would not have added every single one of those into a property search because it was not appropriate.
Nice.
No conversation had added into it. Now, if they ask to be, then absolutely, for sure.
Nice.
Now, what I would like to add them though to is, if they own a home, is to like a neighborhood update.
Yeah, everyone's on automatically through White Lotus.
Yes.
So we've got everybody on through HomeBot.
Yes.
And by the way, look, we've tested out, because we were showcasing Chime, and Chime's got a home market update. It's not as good as HomeBots, and I hadn't really looked at it until James Patton, which you guys know James, he's on here all the time. James texted me. He goes, "Hey man, by the way, it's not as good as HomeBot, so don't remove anybody off HomeBot." So there you go. And what do we got here? There was a question.
Percy, have you seen the new one, Percy?
No, I don't think I've seen Percy. Have you guys seen Percy?
What's
No.
that?
Angie, put a link to it. I'd like to see what you're talking about. Oh, I thought it was a completely separate thing. Yes, we have got it. Yes, that's good. So look, on that, guys, I want to talk about nurturing, because I think this is where we fall short. Last week we talked about follow-up, right? And nurturing falls within the follow-up. You guys do such a great job of connecting with people initially. Where can you two do better when it comes to nurturing?
I'm go ahead and speak up on this one. I think my biggest thing is I would like to increase my level of follow-up for my past clients. I want to move from where I'm at to following up with them no matter what, 90 days. Every 90 days, they're getting a phone call from Mark. Every single time, without a doubt. I can't say that I do that right now, and I think that it is extremely important to do. I think I get caught in the building the pipeline status, and
It's a common problem, man.
yes, and not consistently every 9 days contacting my past client list.
How are you going to change that?
Well, definitely through systems and planning and adding it to my schedule. If it's on my schedule, it's getting done. That's without a doubt. So I have an Excel sheet that I've already started through Happy Grasshopper.
Okay.
And then I'm just be adding them to my CRM and just appropriately putting them into the calendar.
Are you going to be calling them on Chime or Follow a Boss, or hand dialing them?
I'm going to hand dial them, but the reminders will be in Chime.
All right. I like that. All right. Simple. You got a solution.
Andrea's right. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't, Andrea. It does not.
I'm
Jacob.
about to blow Andrea's mind. I never even kept a calendar until like last year. I think nurturing for me is more in the sense like, I think what I really need to do is do it. I nurture relationships really well, but when it comes to like business nurture, I'm kind of in that mindset of like, I closed your house, I'm friends with you, I hang out with you, and we talk about business. So I don't really press the nurture button too well with them. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, is there anything you need or whatever? Because it seems more like a fluid conversation when I talk with them. But I think I need to start pushing it back towards a little bit slighter business at times. like Mark said, I think like every 90 days, just kind of do more of like a business check-in instead of like a, hey, let's go play pickleball and talk about houses that are on the market, but nothing crazy.
Okay, so you just want to shift the conversation slightly over to
Right.
more business. I
Right.
like that a lot. That's good. All right, so then as far as, because I know we're meeting in person, so we can strategize, but take me through what you guys are shifting through in the next few months to get more business. And Mark, I'm going to go to you first.
Yeah. Actually, I have it written down. So number one is expireds. Going through expireds, both just honestly, all of them. I'm trying to stay in our county as much as possible first, and then branching out because I want to do a bit more local. But expires is one. And then also mailers. So as you know, Tristan, we've been talking, and Jacob and I, we're revamping our mailers, and that's going to be a pretty big campaign that we're going to do. I also am shifting towards, when possible, open houses, an open house campaign. I'm trying to organize, plan, and execute 20 open houses in a month.
Dude, I'd love that. How many is that a week? How are you going to split that up? Saturday, Sunday, Friday?
Five a week, and I cannot do every single weekend because I need to save time to allocate to show homes at least one of the days. So whether it's Saturday or Sunday, I need to have one of those days allocated to being open to showing homes.
Okay, I like that. We'll dig deeper on that one when we sit down together. Jacob, how about you, buddy?
I'm going back to the basics, honestly. Trying to door knock. I think door knocking is one of those things that might not have the highest turnover rate as far as clientele goes, but it keeps you in front of them and keeps your name and face recognizable. I think that's so big in the community, regardless of what you do or your production level. I think the more people that can recognize you, the better you're going to be and the more pull you have. Because I don't know about all you guys, but it's one of those things that, to me, I know every time I go out with clients, it's kind of like a showcase where, like, if you go to a public place, you're like, oh my God, that's my neighbor over there. I used to work for that guy. And oh my God, I know him. She's the CEO of that company, whatever it may be. And people love that. And they're like, how do you know all these people? And it's like, oh, I knocked on their door one time and I talked to them. We had lunch, or like, we had a brief 5-minute conversation. I don't know their names. I'm horrible with names, but I remember faces for the rest of my life. So I know if I've met you one time at your door, I'll remember seeing you somewhere. And it also sparks conversation in public. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is get back to the Tristan asked, what was that for? Recognition. I think the recognition of door knocking is so big, because also, it opens the door to, when you're wandering around and you see somebody that looks eerily familiar and you have no idea where you met them. It gives you the way to walk up to them and say, hey, like, I swear I know you from somewhere. And they're like, oh yeah, you came and knocked on my door one time. And you're like, oh yeah, cool. How's everything going? Like, you had that cute little dog or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it just helps with, keeping your name in the community.
I think the biggest thing too is partnering that up with another avenue that you're doing, and that's the mailing. So like, if you're door knocking in the area that you're mailing, it's like that's double. It's double the presence in the community. So it's like it's so important and crucial.
And I do have to say, like, for all the people, I saw it on Lab Coat the other day. Somebody was talking about door knocking, and it was a huge thread. Everybody was on this thing. But I don't door knock for business. And I know that that's like unpopular opinion, controversial. I door knock to meet people and talk. Like, I'm not one of those agents that walks around with, a I have them sitting all over my office. Well, like a CMA and here's what's sold in your neighborhood. I literally just bring my business cards and I talk to people and I give them my card. Hey, you ever need anything? Like, here, feel free to shoot me a call. I live like 3 blocks down. And then if you spark a conversation, I come back with the actual marketing info, but I do it more as a way to just generally talk to people.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
Yeah.
This was good. Let's see what Kristen said. Well, first of all, I got one person saying there's no try. Yoda. We have one of my favorite sayings.
Yep.
I love this. What was that for? Got it. Door knocking. Mailing does work amazingly, Kristen. The idea is to start off heavy, so we're looking at three a month, and then wean off and go to 2 a month, and then consistently stay at 2 a month in different areas where we mix postcards and handwritten letters in between over a really long period of time. So they do work extremely, extremely well. Also, Just List is Just Sold works well as long as you stay consistent with the mailers. And always trying to find the most effective, efficient mailing. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can test out, Kristen. As we shift from what we're doing, we'll bring more of what we're doing to you. So, yeah, we need to, Mark, you need to update your Zillow account. Awesome. Kristen, thank you so much.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it needs to say that you're a badass. That's what she's talking about.
Of course. Yes. That's it.
And if anybody has any questions, you know how to reach us. I'm on Instagram. Mark's on Instagram. Jacob's on Instagram. Just reach out to us or DM us. We'll return your message and we will see you next week. Or I don't know if I'm going to see some of you at SocialCon on Monday and Tuesday in Los Angeles. So if you're going to,
I'll be there.
I'll see Mark. I'll see Jacob. Jan, you'll be there. We're going to have a lot of fun learning how to use social media for our businesses. That will be fun. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.
Mark and I'll be signing autographs in the corner if anybody wants one.
That's right. I'll line up first. It'll be a separate line.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.